What's up, guys? The big episode 4 has officially dropped. This was supposedly the episode that was highly anticipated for fans to watch by Marvel. This was that big perspective change that we've been waiting for, what I've been talking about since the very beginning, guys. Mark is in the psych ward and Harrow is running it. I wouldn't be surprised if Harrow's name is Dr. Emmett here, because I'm sure we're gonna see more of him this next episode and we're gonna get tons more mind fuckery, which episode 5 is also said to be the darkest episode of the series, which makes me think we'll finally see Bushman and even Frenchie on that fateful day. We'll get into that perspective change as well as the sarcophagus holding one Jake Lockley, okay? The hippopotamus god and all the events that led to it. I'll try to explain what's going on with the gods, or at least my understanding of it. The Iliad is looking like some real mofos right now because of that opening scene. Again, Gore, where you at, my boy? I got some work for you, okay? I'll get into the likes and the dislikes as usual and get some predictions out there. Before we do any of that though, make sure to support your boy by hitting that sub button, turning on your notifications, leave a thumbs up, follow my social medias, like, retweet, all that good stuff.
She gave one pee touch.
God damn, I'm a delinquent. Let's get into this. So first off, that opening scene with the avatar of Osiris taking Khonshu's Usapti into that room with the other gods that look to have been turned to stone as well. So I'm very curious just what the hell is happening. Like, who are those other gods? Now, from the research I've done, the Iliad isn't the only gods that were in Egypt. I guess there were like several Iliads, so this could be other gods from different groups of Iliads. That's my best guess here, and I think these main gods might be using their power or maybe stealing their power or doing something nefarious, especially the Pete Buttigieg mofo. He looks sinister, you know. And are these gods the beings they say they are? I'm just as confused as you guys, but that's my best bet on that those are gods from the rest of Egypt. Number one wife in the world, Laila Al Fuli, is seen protecting her king, and I absolutely love the tension here and the display of Layla's resourcefulness. If y'all don't know, Laila is essentially Marlene from the comics, Mark's love interest, except she has way more to do in the show, so that's a very welcomed improvement. Guys, I'm not saying I was bricked up, but damn, the sexual tension and the intimacy between Steven and Laila was palpable. She's down in the nether regions harnessing Steven up. Shit, you know, I know there's some mofos out there that are trying to get harnessed too, okay? That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I also love the beef Mark had with Steven about Laila. Like, legit, they share the same body, they're essentially the same person, so who cares who kisses her? But that just further solidifies that each personality is its own thing. It further segments them as two different entities, which I actually really like. They end up going into Amit's tomb, and I believe this is where we get the setup for Layla's father and the importance of her father to her and how his murder will affect their relationship. But again, if I had to describe this episode in one word, it would be tension, okay? So much tension, especially when that blue bitch comes out of nowhere snacking on the police dude. I was like, nope. And then he fucking hit a 76-inch vertical and clung to the floorboards that Steven was on. And I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. I think they took heavy inspiration for that monster from the Mummies, and I believe issue 2 or 3 of the Jeff Lemire run. That's where I most famously remember them from. And I think Oscar Isaac even wore a shirt with just the Mummy's head on it to like a UFC event, probably foreshadowing when we would actually see this fucker. And then Laila having to escape it while she's climbing a goddamn ledge and is actually able to eventually finesse it, okay? Proving once again why Laila is bae, why we all love Laila. Laila, you know, I'm trying to get harnessed, Laila. I'm just gonna come out with it. Then Harrow comes through sweating like a mofo. Like, everybody in this tomb looks like the chicks from Bridesmaids when they eat the Brazilian food. Like, everybody is super like moist, and not in a good way. And he starts to do what a true hater does best, and he sows the seed of dissent and doubt in bae, in all baes, trying to pit Laila against Mark to screw with their plans of opposing him in any way. Meanwhile, Steven finds the tomb of Alexander the Great, who was Amut's avatar, and he finds the Ushabti in the mummified throat of Alexander the Great, you know. And now I know why they call him the Great, okay? He was the throat goat back in the day, apparently. I read the history books correctly. I had AP World History, so I know what I'm talking about, guys. But after this, Laila catches up, and we see her very perturbed, calling out to Mark, which causes Steven to immediately dip, and Mark takes over control again and puts some of Layla's worries of Mark killing her father to rest, but him still being responsible for putting her father in harm's way and then questioning whether or not she should trust him because of all that she doesn't know, like we've had in the previous episodes to infer. This leads to Harrow storming to the tomb, and fucking Harrow is mobbing deep with like a whole crew of mofos with guns. But Mark is a real one, okay? And he tells Layla to hide and try to take on all the men by himself without Khonshu, and like most great heroes, he gets shot. And this sets in motion the perspective altering change where Mark Spector is a wheelchair bound psych ward patient along with everyone he knew. You see things that Mark has seen or is familiar with, leaving you and Mark to question whether any of this was real or all just in his mind, which was such a good thing from the book. Like everything was so ambiguous. Because of that ambiguity, there was so much viability to everything. Like as absurd as one thing could be, you would be like, oh, that actually could have happened. That might not all be bullshit. That might not all be in Mark's mind. That's what was so brilliant about those books that Jeff Lemire wrote. As he sits strapped to the wheelchair with his little Moon Knight toy, looking into the reflection, he ponders whether his affliction is more severe than what he initially believed. But he fights against what he is seeing and escapes Harrow's clutches and takes a trip down the hall that seems to tip over kind of like a boat or an ark, you would say. Just saying. And we see Mark find Steven in a sarcophagus, and they give each other a nice big hug straight from the comics and try finding an escape, to which they pass this red tomb which is shaking violently, which is most certainly holding Jake Lockley, who is just begging to come out and do some violence, which is going to be glorious, okay, in that final episode. And the episode ends with the hippopotamus god Taweret, I believe her name was. Now this is what I'm saying. So I don't believe Taweret was in the Ennead like at all. So I think they're pulling from gods from the rest of Egypt, and that's what we saw in the beginning. Unless those gods or those avatars aren't really gods. But who knows? Who knows exactly? I feel like Khonshu would have known, or at least Hathor would have known and would have informed Mark, but I think something more sinister is going on. So that's pretty much it for the episode, guys. I mean, it's really just laid there out in front of you. Not too much happens, honestly, except for that big perspective change, which I really like. Honestly, I don't really have any dislikes about the episode. I think it was absolutely brilliant. Just watch out for that scarab, okay? Because we saw a scarab at the beginning of the episode. Looks like Taweret has like a beetle type of armor or plating. I believe the chick from the museum that Mark worked at in that psych ward was actually holding a stuffed animal scarab. Just have scarab in the back of your mind is the best info I guess I could give you. I think the scarab will play a larger role in the final episode. I'm definitely expecting Bushman and Frenchie and a lot of Mark's more famous comic past to come to light in this 5th episode, and I think it's going to get extremely crazy in these next 2 episodes, okay? Be prepared to go to the other void. Be prepared to see some crazy trippy shit, okay? Because I think now is when they really start to use that Disney Plus budget and go hard in the paint. Okay, get ready for that stair battle. I think that is going to be amazing. We are definitely going to get that because it was already teased. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think. I really love this episode. The tension was so good in this episode. Can't wait for the rest of the season. This is such a great show. But let me know what you guys think. Did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? Was it not enough action for you? Was the perspective change too predictable? I know that, I mean, everybody kind of could see it coming who read the comics. That's it. If you like the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I'll see you in the next one.